Sunny, it's so exciting to be chatting again about your new book, Transformational Coaching to Lead Culturally Diverse Teams. And you've developed a high-performance relationship coaching model within this book that helps teams work better with agility and to deal better with complexity. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So, well, it's a long name, High Performance Relationship Coaching Model, but it's about how do we create high-performing teams, but based on the relationships that we have together in the team and with the other teams in an organization. And the work has evolved over the last sort of 7 or 8 years as we realized that it was a lot more complex than just having a team coaching session. You didn't just get together and then figure out a few questions that you work with the team and maybe you have an issue to deal with. We were looking for a real process of working with a team. And so the stages of the model have evolved as we've worked out what work has to be done before we come together as a team, and then what work has to be done in a team coaching session, and then in between the sessions, what's the work that has to be done. And that's how it's evolved. So the other thing is that the people in the team come together with issues and challenges. So you're constantly working with whatever the issues and challenges are that they have. So that means you have to have a range of ways of facilitating and emerging the voices in the team around the issues that emerge. And you've got to have ways of getting them to dialogue, to think together, to work in open discussion, to work in small groups. And so that's the purpose of the model. What is the work that has to be done before you get anywhere near having a team coaching session? So for example, who are your sponsors? Here you are, you're a coach and you've been asked to come into an organization, or maybe you're an internal coach and you've been asked to do the work in the organization. So who are all the people you have to talk to find out everything you possibly can about this team or the teams you're going to work with? So you have to harness a lot of information so that you can start thinking about how are you going to work with this team. So let's pick one team that you're going to work with. So you meet these various sponsors. You might meet the head of the team. You might meet his or her boss. You might meet the board above that. Who knows? It depends really on what's relevant. The HR people, the OD people. Who do you need to meet that's going to tell you all about this team and what are their challenges and what are the problems? Then you got to interview. You need to interview and have what I would call a coaching diagnostic interview with each member of the team. So you find out about them, what's working, what's not working for them in their role, in their job, in the team, in the organization. Then you may do a leadership impact survey on the boss, and leadership overall in the team. And in that way you may solicit views from outside the team at different levels in the organization. So you can see you're gathering a lot of information. Then, and only then, do you start thinking about, okay, now we get together with the team. And then I would do individual profiles that you then look at what are our individual profiles. So one of the very first sessions might be looking at our individual profiles, and then what is the team profile? And actually then sharing, so this is how come we're working well together here, not working so well together here. But at this point, you've designed how you're going to probably spend your year working with this team. You've designed that there are going to be maybe one team coaching session every month, or a team coaching session every 3 months, or every 6 months. And you will design each of those coaching sessions based on what has gone before and where they are now. So that's where it's really useful to have an internal consultant that you're working with. So I always work with someone inside the organization who keeps me abreast of the politics, who keeps me abreast of and usually the leader, the CEO or the leader of that team, abreast of what's going on, what are all the things they're dealing with to run the business. Because you're helping them to run the business more effectively if you're a team or an executive coach. So you need to know what are the regulatory issues that they're facing, what are the risks that they're facing, who's their competition, how are they showing up in the marketplace, are they the sexiest thing on the block, or are they fading into the background? So there's a lot to think about. And so then you design your team coaching sessions based on that. So basically, what pre-work do you have to do? Who are the sponsors you have to meet with? What diagnostic interviews do you need to do? What meetings do you need to sit in on their meetings? Then you start looking at profiling and starting the team coaching. And then throughout that period of time, other things will happen that you will determine what other interventions have to happen with that team or in the organization.
Sure.
But the last thing is you determine where is it they want to end up? How are you measuring it to start with? Where do they want to end up? And how are you measuring it as you go along? And that's very important, because in business it's about results, and results tend to be about financial results, performance results, and behaviors. Those tend to be what organizations are looking to change.
It sounds enormously complex, and my mind is just boggling at the thought of the range and breadth of skills and experience that a coach working in this way would need. What do you think are the key criteria for a great team coach?
Well, that's a great question. So all the team coaches that are out there probably should contribute to this. So I'm not the only one to have thinking on this. So it'd be really interesting to hear what people have to say. First of all, if you're a life coach, then you're going to be mostly working with people individually. If you're a business coach, then you would inevitably work with teams. If you're a life coach, you may work with families. So then you'd have to be thinking of the family system that you'd be working with. So the skills you need as a business coach are, you need for working with teams, you need some facilitation skills in terms, and coaching is not the same as facilitation, but you have to have the skill of being able to facilitate group processes. And because team coaching is all about, they set the goals. You're getting from them what they need to accomplish, but you're providing the processes for them to do that. So you need facilitation of group processes. You need to understand group process. You need to understand adult learning and experiential learning, because a coaching conversation is learning from experience. So if you're working with a team, you're helping the team to learn from their experience. So you need to understand experiential learning. You need to understand, I don't know if I said coaching process, but you also need to have good relationship skills. You have to be able to mediate conflict and confrontation, and you also need to coach them in new skills, in relationships, in managing conflict, in problem solving, in decision making. So I've probably forgotten something, but those are some of the core skills that you need to work with. And you'll need some kind of assessment tools that you can work with. So you will need to be trained in those assessment profiles as well. What have I forgotten? I'm not sure.
Well, I think you've certainly given us all a huge amount to think about, and perhaps a little bit of a checklist to hold all of our skills and experience up against. So thank you, and I'm incredibly excited about the launch of your new book and the work that you've been doing, and thank you so much to you and your contributing authors for sharing this knowledge with all of us.
I just want to say thank you. I have 4 contributing authors who have been fantastic. Dumi Magadlela, who is South African, and he's contributed the work on Ubuntu, which is a fabulous chapter. Karina Schneier and Anne Arad. Anne Arad is Norwegian and is based in Norway, and Karina Schneier is based in South Africa. And they've contributed a chapter on relationship systems coaching. And Deborah Williams, who is one of the internal consultants in an organization that I worked in. And she has shared her experience of what it was like to be the internal consultant and how valuable it was working with an external consultant to create the team coaching process in the different designs that we've done in the different teams that we've worked with. So I really want to say a huge thank you to my contributing authors.
Well, it sounds like an incredibly well-rounded approach, and that you've tackled the issues from the inside, the outside, and brought in a wonderful team to contribute to the book. So congratulations, Sunny. Very exciting.
Thank you so much, Megan.